Coming up on this edition of We Are Washington.
D.C. celebrates the 36th annual National Night Out Against Crime. Plus, the National Building Museum brings the front lawn indoors.
My goal was to create a place where you would create these deep memories.
It's a block party like you've never seen.
Then it's the best the North Capitol corridor has to offer.
Good food, good music, can't ask for anything else.
Experience the food and culture that make it a one-of-a-kind dining destination.
We have those stories coming up. The news rundown is straight ahead. We Are Washington starts now.
Welcome to We Are Washington. I'm Cecily Fernandez.
And I'm Matt Granato. This week, we're talking about the district's effort to combat illegal gun trafficking, a major milestone in Ward 7, and an ambitious plan to get D.C. to zero waste.
Then it's a memorable tribute to those lazy, crazy days of summer as the Building Museum pays tribute to everyone's favorite season with a new exhibit called The Lawn. We'll have those features coming up on the way, but now let's get to the news rundown.
Mayor Muriel Bowser announced a coordinated effort with federal partners to combat illegal gun trafficking in and out of the district.
The focus of the effort is to work with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms and the U.S. Department of Justice to identify and prevent the flow of illegal guns into D.C. Officials also wanted to send a message that purchasing firearms outside the city and illegally transferring those guns into the district will be aggressively investigated and prosecuted.
If someone is asking you to help them obtain a gun, you want to think real long and hard and make sure you don't do that. What you've heard is that it's a straw purchase, and a straw purchase is a felony. And we are seeking the assistance of the U.S. Attorney, both in the district and in the Eastern Division of Virginia, to make sure everyone is accountable for their actions.
This is, make no mistake about it, extremely dangerous and extremely difficult work for our officers. But we believe it is critical to saving lives by getting illegal guns off of our streets and out of the hands of violent offenders.
Officials are also asking for the public's assistance in getting guns off the streets. MPD is offering a cash reward of up to $2,500 for a tip leading to an arrest and a seizure of an illegal gun.
The district wants residents to consider purchasing private security cameras to help the Metropolitan Police solve neighborhood crimes. Mayor Bowser encouraged residents, business owners, and religious institutions to participate in the district's private security camera incentive program.
Once we learned about the DC security camera program, we immediately jumped at the opportunity. It felt great knowing that we could count on some financial assistance at a time when we were taking on a very costly project that makes you truly understand the phrase, every penny counts.
The program, launched in 2016, has funded over 15,000 cameras across all 8 wards.
It was all about building relationships as D.C. police joined residents to celebrate the 36th annual National Night Out. From cookouts to games, food and music, National Night Out gives communities in all 7 police districts a chance to strengthen relationships with law enforcement in their neighborhood.
6 new public murals are coming to the district. The Murals DC program will begin creating new murals on building walls in wards 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7. Among them, a painting plan for 14th and U Street that will feature a portrait of jazz musician and native Washingtonian Buck Hill. The mayor joined DPW for the announcement of the new murals. Since 2007, the program has installed more than 80 murals in every ward of the district on building walls donated by commercial property owners or the district government.
Mayor Bowser joined young professionals gathered at Red Bear Brewing Company for a happy hour in support of D.C. statehood.
So it is our job, and we're going to do it, to make sure every American knows why D.C. must become the 51st state.
The mayor officially declared July 2019 D.C. Statehood Month in the district. Leaders from HBCUs, tech companies, and Congress gathered at Howard University for the 2nd annual Diversity in Tech Summit.
The focus of the event is preparing students of color for careers in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Over the course of the two-day summit, 47 companies in 34 HBCUs joined lawmakers for strategy sessions on topics such as partnerships with tech companies, closing the skills gap, and best practices for recruitment and retention of HBCU graduates.
DC is one of the top cities in the nation for people of color in tech. And this year, for the 5th year in a row, Washington, D.C. was named the #1 city in the nation for women in tech.
Some of the companies that participated in the summit include Amazon, Facebook, Intel, Verizon Media, Twitter, and Visa.
Concern over the potential threat of a major cyber attack on our power grid was the focus of a forum by a nonprofit organization called STEM for Us. How to better protect the region's power grids and telecom networks, and how district residents would handle a prolonged power outage were two of the main topics covered in the discussion. To learn more, visit stemforus.org.
Mayor Bowser is encouraging residents to drop off food waste at locations across the district to help meet the city's goal of zero waste. 9 farmers markets are designated around the city for residents to drop off food waste for free. The program is part of Mayor Bowser's Zero Waste DC plan to make the district the most sustainable city in the country. The program has already collected more than 700,000 pounds of fruit and vegetable scraps from more than 1,700 households. To learn more, visit zerowaste.dc.gov.
It's a transformative project, 15 years in the making, but at long last, developers and city officials celebrated the topping out of the Skyland Town Center, signifying that phase 1 of the project has reached its final height. The Skyland Town Center will be the largest retail center east of the river and will include Lidl, a well-known supermarket chain, housing, retail, and restaurants. The development is also bringing jobs to Ward 7 through the Skyland Workforce Center.
Just by me showing up and showing initiative and going the extra mile and, working late, the company seen something in me. So what they decided to do is put me in an apprenticeship program because they seen I was eager. So they didn't just hire me, they trained me. And most importantly, they gave me hope.
Upon completion, Skyland Town Center will have up to 500 residential apartments in a vibrant town square setting. The 18-acre mixed-use community is expected to be completed by the end of 2020.
All right, first we'll talk about the Power of the Pipeline Partnership, the Tech Summit, featuring young people and some of the tech companies out there to sort of get people to think about, careers in tech and to be thinking about investing in those sorts of things and investing themselves in those sorts of things. And, one of the things that Mayor Bowser said in her remarks were that, DC is not Silicon Valley. It's not the places around the country that, you would consider a tech-heavy place, but it still has its place in that ecosystem, and that people here can focus on those types of jobs and should focus on those types of jobs.
Definitely, yeah. She made a great pitch for people interested in tech careers to stay in DC, and I thought it was interesting. She also mentioned that a lot of the jobs of the future have not even been created yet, so who knows what's to come.
Moving on to Murals DC. This is a growing trend in cities around the country, but here in DC, they've really put a big investment in public art and public works of art, and that's just continuing to grow this year. Yeah,
I love to see it. I think it really can change a neighborhood for the better. One beautiful mural. I love the mural in Northwest on Lee's Flower Shop.
Sure.
It also gives you a little sense of the history of a neighborhood. I think it's great. It's nice if you want to check out all the murals of the city and learn a little bit more about the history. You can go to Murals DC Project because that tells you a little bit about the artist. And that makes it a lot more meaningful when you see one of these murals.
Okay, lastly, MPD's Night Out. This is part of the National Night Out, we all know. It's the focus on community policing and building the bridge between, residents and neighbors and the police in different cities. And here in Washington, D.C., they put on, a tremendous night out. And they had bands, they had food, games, right?
And it's so nice to see police officers just doing all sorts of fun stuff in a very relaxed setting.
Yeah.
Especially love to see the police officers who are in a band, a go-go band. We actually had them here performing in our studios. They do a fantastic job. So I think it's great for the community to see police officers just hanging out and having a chance to get to know people.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, the community policing, and I think that they did a great job in, again, saying building those bridges and bringing people together.
Yeah, it was a great event. Still to come, it's the Dog Days of Summer reimagined at the National Building Museum.
And later we'll introduce you to the culinary stars of North Capitol. I have a question for you. When you think of your front lawn, what comes to mind? Is it a place where you hang out in the summertime, maybe when the weather is nice, relax, spend time with family and friends? Well, the National Building Museum in Washington, D.C. is taking that experience and moving it from the front yard to inside their main hall. And that includes everything you need to relax, from the hammocks to the lawn chairs.
We invite visitors to experience a familiar setting in an unfamiliar space. Relaxing in a hammock, listening to crickets chirping and bees buzzing, playing a lawn game. These are all quintessential activities of summer.
The pros, you don't have to worry about the humidity and the heat. You don't have to mow it. But, you know, tell me about what some of the things are that people can do in here when they come and visit the lawn. You know, are there going to be any barbecues, anything like that? What sort of things do you imagine people to do when they get in here?
Well, the way we got to the lawn idea was thinking about what you could put in this space that, first of all, was an invitation. And as we started to think about that, what occurred to me is lawns, green spaces are all triggered by activity. We can't be doing barbecuing in here. So the question is, what are the things we could do? And it led us in a direction of morphing a lawn with an amphitheater. So it's a 25-foot tall rolling set of hills that is a natural amphitheater. And so throughout the week, throughout the days, there will be all kinds of activities: dance, performance, music, art classes. You might try out a hammock, and you might just stay a while. So that idea that the lawn is only complete when there's people in it, I think really creates a kind of contribution.
As we're sitting here and we're talking today, you hear all of the sounds of summer, all of the sounds of outdoors playing around you. You know, and that's really one cool and unique thing about this. What are some of the things that you considered before any of this came together, when you were dreaming it up, when you were putting it together, that you needed to have to give people that feel of summer, outdoors, and the lawn?
We wanted a space that was its own world, but wasn't prescriptive. So, you know, architects like to build and control things, and of course we wanted to create a beautiful place, but we wanted a sense of putting it in the hands of the people who are here. So there's just enough design to create that thought starter. And one of the ways to create a complete world we thought was sound. So there's a sound system that wraps around the perimeter that can move sound three-dimensionally. The sound triggers a memory. And ultimately, my goal was to create a place where you would create these deep memories. Think about great theater that you've seen. What you remember is an amalgam of many different things. And I think the same is true with public space, that this will forge memories that will last longer than the installation. What is the experience like when it's not daytime? We're here in the daytime right now, but if you come here in the evening after the sun goes down, is it still bright and light out here like it's the daytime, or does the experience change as the day goes on? It's totally magical at night. We were setting levels last night. The fountain is now part of this installation. We have large Mylar panels that sort of bring that light and that sound up in, and at night it's always dusk on the lawn. It has a warm light glow on the graphic wall and dappled light here, and it's going to be a great place to see a movie. Summer's over and the lawn has to close up and go away for the winter time. What happens to all of this? Is there a plan for, because that's been one of the things that you hear about with the Building Museum and these great exhibits that they do. There's usually a plan for the next step. Is there a plan for the lawn? Well, there's a plan for every part of it. The turf gets distributed to schools in the neighborhood, and they've already started to work that out. The furniture we're sitting in is made from reclaimed milk jugs and will be used throughout the museum. The carpet, the cloud carpet, is being reused. And the scaffolding, of course, goes back to being scaffolding. So every piece of what we're on has another life, either within the museum or elsewhere.
They had all of the sights and sounds of summer. I think at some point, you know, in their programming, they were going to be doing things like ice cream, things like, I don't know if they could roast marshmallows or making s'mores here indoors, but,
right.
But, you know, in large part, the important thing about this, too, is that they mentioned all of this, all the material from it is going to be reused in some way or distributed in some way, which is a big deal because, as you saw, there is a lot of material that went into building this. So that's something that they always do at the Building Museum, and they're continuing with this exhibit. So good for them and great job. Coming up, we'll bring you to a taste of North Capitol.
A taste of North Capitol was a chance to sample everything that makes this part of Washington so unique. The North Capitol corridor has the charm of a small neighborhood in the heart of a bustling city. The Taste of North Capitol 2019 was held at the new home of NPR in the heart of the neighborhood, giving residents a chance to come together to celebrate the business owners, mixologists, chefs, and brewers that give the area from the U.S. Capitol to all points north its unique flavor.
Good food, good music, can't ask anything else.
Great food. We had wonderful chicken wings, and D-City Smokehouse was my favorite.
Cheers to everybody. Look at that with flower petals.
A father and son who share a passion for the restaurant business. A lawyer who changed from a career in law to the cookie business. And friendly neighborhood pubs where everybody knows your name. These are just some of the stories behind the local businesses that are revitalizing the North Capitol corridor.
Hopscotch is a local bar. It's got bar food, but since I have a background in Italian food, I have several items that are Italian on the menu.
And it's been a lot of fun. You know, I get to call my dad, you know, my partner in business, and it's been great so far.
Why don't you show off one of your items here?
A meatball. It's a classical Italian. It's from my grandmother and my mom's recipe. And I feel that the people in the neighborhood would benefit in coming by and eating it.
And I'm sure you feel your meatballs are the best, right?
They don't have to be the best, they just have to be damn good. That's all.
Come on, you gotta sell. These are the best meatballs, right?
Best meatballs, yeah.
It started when I was living in San Francisco and I ate cookies every day. And I suddenly woke up one day and I said I should just try to do this. Came up with a recipe. I was working at the San Francisco Bar Association at the time. And so I kind of moved from a law career to this. So all of our cookies are crunchy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
And top selling cookie, chocolate chip?
Chocolate chip cookies, top selling, yes.
And do you provide milk as well?
We do not. We don't sell milk yet.
May I suggest some milk to accompany the cookies?
That's a good suggestion.
Big Bear Cafe is a place we do dinner, breakfast, and lunch 7 days a week.
You're showcasing this Beyond the Bear burger. Can you tell me about that?
So it's a vegetarian burger using Beyond Meat, and it's a blend of with mushrooms and Beyond Meat with some caramelized onions and mambo sauce, some arugula, and we have a nice brioche bun.
The Eleanor is a really fun, multifaceted space. We opened almost a year ago. We have 2 duck pin bowling lanes and a plethora of other games. We have pinball, skee ball, basketball. We also have awesome bar food. Tonight we're featuring our General Tso's wings, which are a favorite. And then we're also featuring our Rosa de Jamaica, which is our take on a hibiscus margarita.
Basically, อร่อย in Thai it means delicious. We are popular for Pad Thai, and we also popular for cashew chicken. That is as far as entree. We have many dishes, just not only just Thai. We also have Japanese.
This tea is incredible. The Thai iced tea is, oh my goodness. And I'll be back a 4th time as well.
We are your quintessential neighborhood pub. We are in the heart of Bloomingdale. We're just a place that everyone calls home. It's really comfortable. You have about 90% of our guests are repeat guests. We know everyone's first name. We know what they drink. We know their story, where they live, everything about them. So it's a place where everyone likes to go at the end of the day.
And tell me what you're showing off today.
Today we have our Kentucky Blossom. It is a bourbon, cherry syrup, lemon cocktail.
And most importantly, it's shaken, not stirred, right?
Anything with juice is shaken, anything without juice is stirred.
Oh, well, thank you for that tip. I did not know. Okay. Go ahead. Take a break. You know, I'm really excited about an upcoming feature we're doing on the Red Bull Dance Your Style competition. Looking forward to showing you a lot of that. So many great performances, but one of the most inspiring performances was by a group called Infinite Flow. And they are an inclusive dance company. And I got a chance to speak with one of the dancers who's been paralyzed since she was 15, and now she's getting a chance to perform again. Take a look.
I got paralyzed when I was 15, and before that I was an athlete and dancer. I didn't think I'd be able to do any of that again once I got paralyzed. And then, lo and behold, I started doing the things that I did before again, and I'm like, if I could do all these things, I could probably dance. So slowly but surely, I found some people that were able to teach me. Marissa was the founder of Infinite Flow, and she brought me on as a founding member in the company, and we've been dancing ever since.
Wow, what a story. That's so inspiring that she was able to kind of overcome that and then find her way back to doing what she loved before her accident.
And you know, the dancers who were gathered there watching really loved it, because sometimes, you know, it forces you to be a lot more creative when you have some challenges, and it can make for a much more interesting choreography. So it was great to see.
Can't wait to see more from the Red Bull Dance competition. And that was great to hear from her and hear that story too. That is all the time that we have for today, but we'd like to thank you for joining us and remind you that you can check out all of our features, all of our episodes. All you got to do is go to YouTube.
So easy.
It's simple, right? You just search Entertain DC. Here comes the We Are Washington playlist. Click on it. You can spend the rest of your afternoon checking out all of the shows that we have. While you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe.
See you next time.